Nakaba, don't do this to me. Don't take him away from me! Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, Red Wolf 4765, Midnight Gem Lord, and Artagoon 555. Now, before we come to this breakdown / review of chapter... Had to decompress there. Chapter 82 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Please, if you leave your own song chapter in the comment section down below, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support for as little as $1 a month. Get these exclusive videos, early content, and more. Now, let's hop into last week's poll. So, last week I ended up asking with the last chapter being, being a little bit chilled out, a little bit relaxed, a little bit calm, you know what I'm saying? After all the hype, you gotta have some pace and chilling out. Who did we think was gonna get the finest of drip? Because, we were promised some new outfits, some new looks, some new swagger, if you will. And with that being the case, we need to figure out who, in fact, would have the most of this new swagger. And... I was gonna initially fun fact, when I was making this poll, I was legit just gonna make it all 5 options be one character, because we know who it's gonna be, because they're the drip lord, the drip doctor, if you will, the drip connoisseur, the drip of drip that drips into an ocean of drip. But I figured, I'd have faith in y'all, because y'all been here for a while now. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know who it is. He's been in the series longer than anyone else. He's been the drippiest in the series from the day he appeared until the day he's gone. Which may be sooner than I think, unfortunately. But still, there's opportunities. There's action. There's hope. I gave y'all 5 options, all right? I gave y'all Nasiens, drip doctor himself. Gave y'all gawain, because, Percival got absolutely annihilated in the last battle. Then I gave you Tristan. You have a guy who can't even control Demon Mark at 16 years old. Son of Meliodas and Elizabeth. Highest potential in the entire verse by just simple addition logic and sequel logic. His drip. It's kind of booty before, so maybe he can get better. Percival, I was like, Percival's been kind of ugly throughout the entire series. So I was gonna hope we could possibly pray on him getting some good stuff, because now that Lookers Nakaba's been doing that boy dirty. And then finally Anne, the truthful drip, the drip of the enlightened one, the drip of justice. Because she's been saucing out the wazoo. She's been like the second most drippy. Donnie's been kind of drippy though. I didn't put Donnie on the list because I was thinking I gotta put some drip and some lack of drip. And Donnie, he's been consistently in the middle. And this is one poll that I actually watched happen. Legitimately, when I put up a poll, I try to not look at them until the next review when I want to talk about the poll. So I don't jack up or get any opinions screwed up or anything like that. I like to wait and watch, and then find out the day of. But I was watching this one because I was invested. And y'all, I'm not gonna say 40% of y'all just have the wrong opinion. But out of 188 votes at the time of recording, the person who took the dub was Tristan. The light and dark drip, pure fire on the way. And to be fair, right? Tristan has the potential to be kind of drippy, right? Because Meliodas, King Meliodas especially, he is in fact a drip lord. Legitimately, the king coat on Meliodas is fire. You gotta get rid of that tie, but, still, it's kind of fire. Elizabeth, I wouldn't necessarily call her a drip lord. She's kind of just been, kind of mid-ish. I put her in the same, Donnie tier. She isn't, I'm not even sure who I was about to compare her to, but it was gonna be bad. But, she isn't the worst, but she also isn't the best. So, you combine that to the light and dark, you get some decent drip. 40% of y'all? Really? We have the drip doctor, the ocean of drip, the drip dominator, the drip. Nasiens came in second place with 29%. And the thing was, I'm not sure. I want to trust y'all and say this is just your honest opinion, but I know y'all know I love Nasiens. I think he's the drip of drip that'll ever drip. So I'm confident this was malicious. This was malicious. Because Nasiens was winning. Nasiens was winning until someone mentioned that Nasiens was winning. And then suddenly things shifted. I'm watching y'all. But thank you guys so much for participating. Oh, I lost my English. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you guys so much for participating in that poll. And make sure you get your input in on tomorrow's poll, dropping at 12 p.m. Make sure your input is included for next week's review. Now, let's hop into Chapter 82. What's up, guys? I'm Pencil, and here we are for you, Chapter 82 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse. And which is known as Each and Every Conflict. And like, if y'all couldn't tell by the initial intro, the boy is scared. And notably, I've been here from day one saying like, oh yeah, they're getting removed from the plot. Like there's been no doubt in my mind, no hope in my heart that our cast is gonna stick around. But like I'm telling y'all from the bottom of my heart, if Nasiens and gang, if the Percy squad gets replaced by the Tristan platoon just because they're holy knights, bro. Let's just say Nagaba won't be sleeping safe at night. He won't have to sleep with both eyes open, if you know what I'm saying. But enough of that, let's hop right into the chapter itself. So we open up, and we do get to see that it is the morning. And like, I will admit, I'm not sure, like, sometimes I talk about this, ironically enough, on my TikTok. Go check that out if you want more pencil content daily. But I talked about this on my TikTok, and it was reference to JJK and how much happened in such a short period of time in the series. But still, that was over like a 2-week period. So when Anne shows up at the beginning of the chapter, it's like, golly gee willikers, fellas. So much happened yesterday. Has me exhausted. I swear, why do I have to sleep in the bed with the boys? I legit wonder if Nakaba realizes like how much he wrote happened in one day. Like, mid-30s, bro. Like, we are in chapter 82. And yesterday ended just last week. Bro, we've been in yesterday for at least like a year, dog. Like, it is crazy how much and what happened in one day in sevendeadlysins time. I know, like, the entire back half of the series happened over 3 days, but at least that was 3 days, right? This is one. Like, one. It was wild. However, I'm not sure. I hope this isn't their new drip. Like, Anne has had better fits. I hope. I mean, I get it. It's I think it's just a nightgown. I don't think this is actually going to be her drip. I hope it isn't. Like, the drip was kind of disappointing in the chapter. I'm not gonna lie. If this is really all the drip, I'm gonna have to go to the ocean and like take a sip of like 5 gallons. So I get too much sodium in my system and bada bing. But no, I'm kidding. But it is funny how Anne is like, man, the men. Like, Anne, you have full right and reason to kick them out of your room. And while they don't listen, you could at least bully them out of your room. That was a conscientious choice you made, young lady. However, we do get to see that Anne, while she's reminiscing over that, she does happen to notice that someone else is vibing in the courtyard. And we see that it is Isolde. Because, get it? Because she sold... No, I'm sorry. But we do get to see that Isolde is, in fact, swinging around her big old spiky stick. A mace? A mace? Would it be a mace? Does it still count as a mace if it's on a stick? I think, like, I typically think of maces as, like, on a chain. But I don't know. But obviously, Anne is like, yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. It is a solid 6 in the morning. You're training this early? You're trying to get your gains up this early when you know your fodder? Like, we literally gave you Holy Knights a whole chapter to yourself to try and prove yourself. And y'all get saved by Percival. Percival, who is self-admitted the weakest of the knights. Y'all are fodder. What are y'all even doing this for? However, one thing I will admit is that, like, without the bow, and specifically in this outfit, the only thing that keeps Isolde from not being Elizabeth is her eyes. And I think that's on purpose. Like, I'm confident there's a reason behind that. Like, don't get me wrong. I think it is just supposed to parallel. But, like, Nagaba already has some bad same face syndrome. Sometimes it's purposeful. Like, Ro looks like Bon because that's literally, like, I want to see Dahlia's human friend that ended up betraying him or doing something along those lines. Because apparently this happens to all the fairy kings. Like Luxinia and King literally had the exact same plot happen to them in front of their very eyes. So I just gotta know. Something's up with them. But with this case, I don't know. It's just really, really weird. I forget what Isolde's official color. Do we ever see it? I don't think we actually know any of their official colors yet. I don't think we've ever seen them. Yeah, because the Tristan platoon has been like in and out of the plot. I know Anne has like light bluish hair, but I'm not sure what Isolde's hair color is. But if it's the same hair color as Elizabeth, I'm just gonna call lazy character design at that point. You can't just make her taller and say bada bing, bada boom, new worthless character. But we do get to see that Anne and Isolde go for a walk and a talk, and Isolde explains that, I won't lie to you. I am big fodder, but I cannot be big fodder for Daddy Tristan, because Daddy Tristan is Daddy Tristan, and I love him. And like, I don't know, right? Because in like most contexts, I get it. Royals typically aren't the most like well guarded and well powerful. Like they just aren't. Like if you were to ask me, outside of the few royals that are just genuinely immortal, like I don't think they're the most powerful. But like, look at it, Meliodas, Elizabeth, and Tristan. I'm not sure something's obviously up with Elizabeth. Like, something's happening in Gretchen of Edinburgh something's happening to her now, because we have not seen this woman's eyes. Like, we have not seen this woman's eyes since the end of Seven Deadly Sins, which is going on, I think, 2 or 3 years at this point. Time is flying, and I am aging. But regardless, with that being the case, it's kind of like weird. It's weird to think about, like, these humans are like, we gotta protect the royal family. And, like, you gotta protect Bartra. Maybe Veronica, but I think she's a little Greenmore right now. And he's also a human. So maybe you need to go protect them, those royals. Well, I don't know. The strongest demons ever exist. The strongest goddess human hybrid ever exists. A Nephilim. Like maybe you don't need to protect them, and you need to work on protecting yourself. And we get to see that Anna's like, wow, you know what? I can't knock your hustle. That's your duty. That's incredible. That is wild. And we do get to see that Isolde actually rationalizes it under the same lens that I do. She realizes how fodder she is, and she's like, well, perhaps I should say. Now, Isolde has a mad deep voice. Perhaps I should say, I have no merit beyond getting myself in shape. Yeah, if you're wondering, I did put my hands over my mouth. And if you're wondering what's up with the audio quality, my mic broke. But regardless, with that being the case, we see that Isolde's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just useless. Like I'm literally fodder. I can't help it. I'm tall and I'm worthless. Like I might as well play for the Leonis 11s. What would the Leonis basketball team be called? The Leonis Demons? Is that too overt? Can we call them that? I think that'd be infringing. What would you call the Demon Clans World basketball team? Would there be an NBA? Would there be a Leonis one? Or would it be like a BBA? Like a Britannia Basketball Association? I don't know. But regardless, would there be a WBB? I'm sorry. With that being the case, we do get to see that despite Isolde ragging on herself, being like, I'm fodder, and I agree. I agree. You did. No, actually, I will give her this. Due to a temporary mental amp, she did chunk Meligan's tail. And by, sheer scaling, Love Amped Isolde solos all of season 1. I wish I was kidding, right? But, unless Meligaland or Meligaland / Chaos Gallon and Chaos Melaskia are, infinitely weaker than No Magic Gallon from the previous series, the verse is on a lot of people's hit lists. Percy solo season. I need to make videos. I need to make more videos. Once I get into it. But regardless, we do get to see that Anne's like, I'm useless too, so let's not even talk about that. What happened to your ribbon? And we do get to see that Isolde's like, oh wait, nope, hold on. Oh, I got tattered in yesterday's battle. But it's fine. I don't think it suited me either way. And Isolde, I ain't gonna lie to you. Get it back. Get it back just so you can differentiate yourself from Elizabeth, because I cannot see the difference. You're wearing the exact same fit she did. Change it up. But we do get to see that Isolde is... she apparently got bullied for being big. And, I don't know. Well, once again, this is that time period. And, like, I'm not necessarily a big guy, like, in height-wise. Like, I'm not too tall. But I'm trying to think, like, any of my tall female friends, did they ever get bullied? Okay, I remember one time when they did, but it didn't end up well for the person who insulted them. And I don't know, Isolde is literally like a holy knight. She has holy games. And the holy men, like, just body back. Like, I'm not saying you should resort to violence whenever someone antagonizes you, but this is medieval times. So we resort to violence when someone antagonizes. I'm sorry. But we do get to see that Anne is like, what? No way. Even though I would definitely bully you for that. How could they be so mean and evil? And it is very interesting to see, like, these two people bonding. I'm guessing they're endgame for Tristan and Percival. Like, just off the game. Like, Nakaba, as much as the story of Seven Deadly Sins is kind of about romance, like, literally every single one of our characters' tragedies and or reasons for existing has something to do with romance, except for Chatskanor. I'm trying to think about that. But Meliodas, Bond, both romance. Ironically enough, undead and dying lovers, in fact, with their romance. Merlin did it all for love, or lack thereof. Diane does it for love. King does it for love. Gilthunder kind of did it for love afterwards. Only Chatskanor. I mean, he died for the love of his friends, but, like, in terms of just, like, straight romance, the story of Seven Deadly Sins is heavily romance-based, but it's not necessarily well done. That's one of my biggest complaints about Elizabeth and Meliodas. Like, I wish we could have seen them falling in love and not just get told about it. I don't blame Malcolm, but it's hard to write romance. Don't get me wrong. And writing romance over the long term is tedious, especially in an ongoing manga. So I get it. You skip the pretenses and have it happen 3,000 years ago off screen, you don't have any question. However, I'm something of a romance connoisseur. I like my romance done a certain way. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Not this kind of way. But with that being the case, it's interesting to see these two, well, in my opinion, endgame love potentials. Like, obviously, Lance and Gwen is going to be a thing, no matter how much it makes me want to, like, no matter how much I want to hurl about it right now. Give me, like, a 10-year time skip and I won't complain anymore. Trust me, I will not complain. I will just keep flashing back to chapter 56. But regardless of that, give me a time skip for that. I'm assuming that's going to be canon. Gawain is kind of up in the air. I'm not sure. Maybe no one and or Donnie. Just because they've been hanging out a lot, and Nakaba is very, very simple. And then you obviously have Isolde and Tristan, and then Anne and Percy. So, I don't know, the romance is kind of set up. Nasiens, a bottle. Obviously, he loves Percival. He ain't getting that, so he's going to be married to a bottle. Unfortunately, he is poison mixer, so it's not going to do him any good. But we do get to see that apparently, of all the individuals that had Isolde on a hit list in terms of saying you are big and ugly and dumb and big and stupid and dumb and ugly and stupid and big and dumb. The only one, which I do find hard to believe. Like, I don't know. I know it's a recent thing to like tall women, especially tall muscular women. Like, the fact that I can put M into the Google search bar, not anything else, nothing else. Go put M into your regular Google search bar. And, like, at least it'll be in the first 10 drop-down results. Muscle mommy is, in fact, a term that's popped up recently. So I get it. Maybe it's a new thing. But you're telling me everyone in all of Leonis was like, darn, Isolde, you 6 feet? Get 6 feet deep. You know what I'm saying? You ugly. Like, really? Everyone? Not a single person, not a single guy, not a single short king out there was like, man, Isolde, I want to climb you like a tree. I'm sorry. If you're a short king, I didn't mean it like that. Trust me, I'm short too. I don't know why I said it like that. No, I'm not editing that. I couldn't even finish the joke. But regardless, we do get to see that Tristan was apparently the only one who gave her a chance, told her to try fashion, and said, you know what, Isolde? Your massive muscle mommy biceps could literally tear me to pieces, even when I'm in Demon Mark. And don't get me started on those thunderous thighs. I know this ribbon will look good. And I can't wait to... Let me stop. But regardless... apparently it was Tristan was like, yeah, this suits you. This is for you. All it's nice. Tristan, he's a cool cat. He's a cool cat. We like Tristan. He obviously likes his women tall. And we do get to see that Isolde is still on this, and I don't know, how dumb was I at 6? I'm still dumb now. Don't get me wrong. I'm an idiot who barely has any comprehension over the English language, as you can tell by how I speak. So, legitimately, I'm not one to critique, but at 16, I knew what chastity was. I had an idea of what that was. I think most people half my age, nowadays at least, know what that is, unfortunately. Don't introduce, if you have younger siblings or kids, don't introduce them to chastity at half the age of 16. Please don't. But especially considering the age of adulthood in this time period is in fact 16, the fact that Isolde is a holy knight and doesn't know that kind of seems strange. I don't know why. It just throws me off. But she goes on this whole rant that's why, even if another man takes my chastity away, even if I lose my right to love Sir Tristan, as long as I can continue to fight for Sir Tristan, that'll be enough. I just realized I'm kind of giving her a Christian Bale Batman voice. I hope I remember this for future reviews. I hope I do. Because there have been some bits that people have reminded me that I've done that I've dropped, and I'm like, oh no, it's too late to bring it back now. No, it isn't. I'm definitely going to bring back some bits. But still, we do get to see that Isolde just doesn't know. And obviously, this is referring to the whole Percival incident where he got up in there and went, tasty. But and the voice of reason is not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. I think you may have something a little bit screwy, a little bit off the mark here. Go pick up a dictionary. Do those exist? Were there dictionaries in medieval? There had to be, right? There had to be. They don't have scrolls anymore. Yeah, they have books. So go pick up a dictionary. Go to the C section and you Google chastity real quick. Google chastity in a dictionary. But look up chastity real quick and be sure what you find. And we do get to see that Isolde is no, you don't understand. He thrust his. Okay, I'm not gonna say that in the Batman. Because I'm scared. But regardless, we do get to see as Isolde's having a heart attack. And why does Anne know this? Once again, I would assume it's common knowledge. I guess that's why Anne knows it, because she straight up sells it. She leans in Isolde's ear and is like, well, you see, a woman only uses her chastity when a man takes his fat claymore and sheathes it with it. Okay, let me stop. YouTube, please. But regardless, we do get to see that upon learning the truth, upon getting the explanation of the bees and the birds, what would we call that in Seven Deadly Sins terms? The goddesses and the demons, the fairies and the giants, the vampires and the shapeshifters. I genuinely don't know. The purgatory beasts and the hawk mamas. But regardless, we see that upon realizing that that whole thingamajig that she was all worried about, that didn't happen yet. Keyword is yet. But no, we find out that I was like, no, I would never. Is there anyone? Okay, I'm sorry. That voice hurts my throat so much. I don't know how Christian Bale did that. Genuinely, that man must have had water built into the suit, because the fact that he managed to do that for 3 movies straight. Was it 3 or was it only 2? I need to rewatch the Nolan movies. But G. Wilkers, Batman. That thing hurts. But she does apparently decide that if worse came to worse, if something like that actually happened with anyone other than Sir Tristan, which is interesting, because she says if anyone other than Sir Tristan did something like that, so she'd be fine if Tristan take his great darkness claymore and just whoop. No, I'm sorry, but we do get to see that Anne's like, yeah, it'd be like that. Want to be like that sometimes, To be fair, I can't. I'm still annoyed at Isolde for how drastically she reacted, but then again, I guess it is just a weird situation. I'm not sure. I need to ask somebody that. For all 0.0001% of my female audience out there, if what looked like I'm still thinking Percival looks a solid 5. So, like, if a 5-year-old just went up, you happen to be wearing a square, and he went, oh, tasty. Like, how would you feel about that? Let me know. Let me know about that. The comment section is going to be looking so weird on this one. But regardless, we get to see that Anne is like, hey, I get it. If your job is to protect Tristan, my job is to make sure Percival doesn't get any more cases. Because, golly gee willikers, we already have 7 of them. That guy happened to rank him the other day. But we do get to see that Anne, with that being the case, worrying about Percival's like, hey, I know, he messed up. He took a deep whiff. Sorry. At least he said he smelled good. Can you go easier on him? And, like, it is nice to see, right? Because due to the fact that the group has been together with themselves for, what? Anne was introduced back in chapter, 16? And we're in chapter 82. Like, the group has been together for so long. They never really get to express how they feel about each other outside of, like, their little interactions with each other. And sure, we know they all care about Percival, but it's usually just on the human level. But we see that Anne cares so deeply about Percival that she wants to keep his relationships with other people healthy and keep his reputation healthy. It's very nice. It goes to show you how much she genuinely cares for him and how much Percival has changed her life in a positive way and how much he's willing to do for him because all the things he did for her. I like that. It's little things like this that really make characters feel more three-dimensional. Like, usually the characters like this would just be talking mouthpieces that happen to show up every time Percival needs an amp, but now we get to see how deep that love and care for him goes, and I like that. It's not necessary, obviously. Like, you can still have characters be good without this, but adding this extra layer, having these characters communicate, especially these two characters who are in pretty similar roles, I like it. Nakaba, he has many questionable decisions. Countless questionable decisions. Like, so many questionable decisions that I could make multiple videos about said questionable decisions, and I most likely will. But with that being the case, man, can this man write some characters. Like, legitimately, golly gee willikers, he can do it. And we do get to see that apparently Percival and Isolde were similar in more ways than one. Because they're both stupid enough to believe that what happened in a way that it did. And we do get a reference and a callback that I'm not going to vocalize, just go read the chapter. But, like, this did happen, as people have pointed out before. And it is crazy that Anne's just actually acknowledging it. Like, why didn't you tell him not to? Like, Anne, you're a full-grown woman, according in this time period. Not in my world. Not in my world. And not mentally, either. Like, unless human brains develop a lot quicker in the Seven Deadly Sins world. She's not an adult mentally until, 25, I think. Like, your brain don't stop. Your brain don't... I'm about to go into a whole song. But, regardless, your brain don't completely develop until, 25 or so. So she's still got at least 9 years ahead of her. But, still, man, stand up for yourself a little bit more. I get you love Percival, but you don't gotta love him that much. Publicly. But we do get to see that Isolde's like, golly gee, wait, golly gee willikers, thank you. And she extends her hand and is like, as only knights of the Tristan and Percival platoons, has even our best together from now on. And, interesting that they just automatically assume they are a platoon. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They are the Percy people. And Percy is a Knight of the Apocalypse, so I guess the platoon makes sense. We call him Percy Squad and Tristan Squad, so I guess it was inevitable that other people would assume that too. Though we do get to see that Anne is like, you see, the funny thing about that, even though I beat one, and realistically, if the standards are as low as to let you into the organization, I should be one by default. I'm not actually a holy knight. And, meliodas, make it spiffy, make it quick. Just pick up the game. Percival ain't a holy knight. He's just a fortnight. He's a fortnight of the apocalypse. So, honestly, Anne, a title ain't nothing but a title. Trust me, it's not going to make you useful power-wise. It really ain't. I still, outside of your being a love interest, and you hypothetically gaining actual future sight, like not what Lance has, where he reads the heart of his opponent. No, like genuine future sight. I still have no idea how he's going to keep you relevant narratively, at least in terms of fights. And trust me, being a holy knight don't make you special. It really doesn't. We are not in season 1 of Seven Deadly Sins anymore. I had hope, I had faith. The way Nagaba portrayed Hauser, I had faith. But as Meliodas quickly showed, that faith was misplaced. So, Anne, don't worry about it. However, that is the end of the conversation between the two love interests. And we hop over to a new land. And a new land, it's still Britannia, and it's still Leonis. And we do get to see that our boy, the Prince of Drip, the Drip Doctor, is now the actual Doctor. Because he's in the house with Hendrickson. And I like how people have already taken a liking to Nasiens. Like, he is just genuinely appreciated already. Because two women are walking by and they're like, oh, he has a patient this early? And we see the other woman's like, oh, yes, he looked like such a sweet guest. And it is nice. You know, I love Nasiens. I love Nasiens. He's also the drippiest, no matter what you Tristan fans say. I don't care. Call me back when your character punched Arthur in the mouth. No, I'm kidding. But, because Nasiens didn't do that either. However, we do get to see that Nasiens, he is tweaking. He is freaking, and he is bleeding out of his mouth. He's like, whoa, Mr. Hendrickson, this is beyond wild, amazing, bamboozling, if you will. Where and how can I get materials like yesterday's Demon World snake? And, you know, I forgot about that, like, already. Like, he did just happen to have one. But we do get to see that Nasiens, as he's going through all these things, he's pulling out books, he's reading, he's like, analyzing these materials. Hendrickson's like, hey, kid, you're currently, you're bleeding from your mouth. You good? And Nasiens, the sparkly purest boy to ever sparkly pure boy. Once again, no, it is something I've mentioned before, but it is crazy how every last character that became a mainstay in the Percy squad, except for Sin, ironically enough. Sin was always, he was weird, he was mysterious, and obviously he's Lance. But still, with that being the case, every character in the Percy platoon did appear as an antagonistic at first. So it's crazy to think that the mad herbalist is this happy little sparkly boy who's talking about how his mouth bleeding is perfectly fine. And we do get to see that Hendrickson's like, you know, I'm going to let this slide, but I'm going to take a note of this, because this is not okay. However, Hendrickson explains that, oh, you know, His Majesty sometimes brings it as a souvenir. Hold on. Hendrickson has the voice. His Majesty sometimes brings it as a souvenir when he comes home. As a thank you, I often help out at His Majesty's store. And, this does confirm something that I'm so happy to hear. And I think they have to have a kid at this point. I mean, maybe Meliodas is just visiting so he can be a good brother, but I love that Meliodas goes to the demon world occasionally. He just goes to check in on his baby brother. He's like, hey, Zell, you being a good demon king? Who's the best demon king? You're the best demon king, aren't you, Zell? Yes, I am, Meliodas. Yes, I am. Who's the best demon king? Meanwhile, Gelda's in the background like, huh? They're both so stupid. But, like, I hope, please, like, I'm very mixed. Like, I'm catching up on comments because college workers, I didn't realize I was a whole month behind. But like, with that being the case, I was checking up on comments and someone was like, "Hey, I wanted Arthur's introduction to the series being him stepping through a portal with with King's wings and Gideon and just throwing them on the floor and being like, they're gone." Like, straight up, we never get to see them because Arthur off-screened them, and like, I'm not saying I want that to happen to Zeldris and Gelda. Like, I don't want Arthur to step through a portal and, like, be dragging Gelda by the hair as he has Zeldris' blade in hand, being like, huh, you know, for the king of the demon world, that was pretty easy. So, like, I'm very torn, because I love Zeldris. Gelda's cool, too. But I love Zeldris. But if he got off-screened, I kind of love it. But at the same time, it's great to see that Meliodas is visiting the demon world, right? Like, he no longer has such toxic ties to it, because it's his brother ruling now. And all of his charges are pretty much overwritten. So it's good to see that he constantly goes home and visits and lives there. Well, maybe not lives there, but at least visits. I love that. And we do get to see that with that being the case, Nasien's like, wait, I'm sorry, what? A demon-rolled snake as a coming home souvenir. Who does that sort of thing? The king of all demons. Well, not the king of all demons, but like the strongest of all demons, right? Like, I bet he goes and catches them himself. He blitzes them. Easy. Casually. But it is funny to think about, right? Like, Meliodas is still tiny, which makes me wonder. I've kind of agreed with the common consensus that, Meliodas may not have a 1,000-year lifespan. That boy may be pseudo-immortal in some way, shape, or form, too. He may have a goddess lifespan as far as we know. But it makes me wonder. Considering how tall the Demon King was in his prime, unless their mom was a literal midget, like, how are they so short? Like, are they just not fully grown yet? Like, are both Mel and Zell just really, really young? Because, like, if we're going by regular demon standpoints and just comparing it to human lifespans and just, like, doing a scaling thing, they should both be fully grown. Because at least we know Mel is older than Zell, even before Mel became immortal. And Zell is 252, aka 25. If we were to relate it to human years from demon years, because humans live a tenth of demon lifespans at 1,000 years. But if the idea that they're older, or like they have longer lifespans, like say they live for 10,000 years. Let's say they don't have the same like literal immortality that their dad did. Like, what if they're really just short because they haven't gotten fully grown yet, and they still have a growth spurt waiting? I don't know. I wonder. But the reason I even talk about that is it's interesting to see how secret the idea that Meliodas is a demon is, right? Like, he's the king of Leonis. But then again, I guess Nasiens wouldn't know. But still, the idea that the king of Leonis is so well known, yet not well known as a demon. Interesting. And we do get to see that, regardless of any of that, Hendrickson's like, yo, Nasiens, I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. To think your magic power can let you neutralize, generate, and synthesize poisons that you slurp up? That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. In my opinion, if you were to ask me, it seems like you're just built for this. Like, built for this, born for this. You might as well just be the best character in the verse outside of Papa Pelgard. And Nasien's like, what do you know about Papa Pelgard? Oh, I know he's the best character. No, I'm sorry. But with that being the case, we find out that Nasiens doesn't exactly understand how he awakened this kind of magical power. Like, it kind of just happened. And notably, we know that magical power kind of just spawns at random. Like, sometimes it can be tied into your emotions and like how you feel about other people. Like, Isolde's love bomb is something she only developed, assumingly out of the love for Lord Tristan. That's something that just happened to work like that. And then, meanwhile, Percy's hope magic, I don't know. I legit just don't know. And he also has despair magic. I still don't know. Like, I have taken so many, like, shots, jabs, hooks, lefts, rights, dodges, dups, downs, and left. I've been trying to figure out Percy's magic ever since that bad boy dropped all the way back in, like, chapter 6. No, chapter 3 or 4, I think. We are 82 chapters deep. I still got nothing. And it just gets more and more confusing the more we learn about it. But other cases, like, magics can be learned and stuff like that. So, assumedly, this is just a case of magic responding due to his environment. We know that Ordo found him as a baby, so Nasiens did just spend his entire life around poisons and mixtures and stuff like that. Considering his adoptive grandfather was literally a poison mixer, him getting poison mixer definitely makes sense. And we see that there's a hint, a whiff, a taste, that you will, of the idea that Nasiens may be a little more strange than he's cracked up to be. I've heard that many fairies have strong resistance to disease, but you are a very rare human example. And it's interesting that, it's a little interesting that Hendrickson uses the word disease. Like, poisons can cause diseases, I guess, but I wouldn't necessarily say poison itself is a disease. It's poison. Like, I guess a person can get sick from drinking chloroform, but I wouldn't say drinking chloroform is exactly a disease. But with that being the case, I wonder if this is just another red herring. Like, no, Nasiens is just a human dude that happened to end up being born with this really fairy-like magic, or some something shady happened. Like, notably when Nasiens first popped up, we thought he was the kid of Zeldris and Gelda. At least I did. I don't know. You wouldn't have heard me complaining, especially with the whole blood thing, but that just appears to be like a personal quirk of his. So, I don't know. I've heard a few times that people think he may be the kid of Diane and King, because Poison Mixer seems to be somewhat similar to Disaster. But I don't know. It seems weird. Like, I still don't think Diane and King would be the kind of people to just abandon their kid. Like, especially since they seem alive and well. Like, before they were shown in that panel ready to attack Arthur, you could have told me that Diane and King were, like, in hiding or dead. Or like legitimately, you could have told me anything, and I would have believed it, just because they had been specifically not mentioned. When I had multiple times, like, a character like Dolores, if Diane was, like, just fine, should have mentioned, because Dolores was Diane's friend. Like, the idea that Dolores didn't even check up or anything on Diane is still crazy to me. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a different version of that story when we finally meet Diane, if we ever do. But still, interesting. I'm really wondering if Nasiens, because like I mentioned in my Nasiens video talking about him, he still has a wide open door mystery. Not only can he stay relevant power-wise through all his hacks, but on top of that, he does have that element of mystery that we can do with him. The mystery of his parentage is ever present. So who knows? Nakaba mentioning this whole fairy resistance thing, maybe a tease at something for the future, but at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked if either A, Nakaba forgets, or B, Nakaba kind of just throws it out the window. It's like, gotcha, oop, your ankle's broken, and then walks away. Because Nakaba, while sometimes I can read him, dodgy willikers do my ankles be snapping sometimes. And we do get to see that with Nasiens being amazed that, wow, I'm built like a fairy. Hendrickson is like, whoa, I'm not going to lie. Not only do you have just an abundance of knowledge and curiosity, but you just seem to be him. Who was your teacher? Who made you such a fantastic and amazing individual that just makes you top 10 characters in the verse, just talking about characters, not power? You filthy power scaler, stay away. This says me as a filthy power scaler. But regardless, with that being the case, we had to see that Nasiens is like, oh yeah, it was a pharmacist named Ordo who raised me. He sent me into the world to learn. And, interesting. He says pharmacist, he doesn't say grandpa. So I wonder if, like, due to spending... Now that I think about it, though, has it really been that much time? Like, I think the whole story of Four Knights has taken, like, 2 weeks. If that. It may have been a week. So I can't necessarily blame time passing on him not calling Ordo grandpa. But I assume, like, he would have said, like, oh, it was my grandpa, a pharmacist named Ordo. He sent me out into the world to learn. But he just says it was a pharmacist named Ordo who raised me. See, so I guess he still acknowledges the raising part. The phrasing is just interesting to me. I know, I always, like, stick on weird things like phrasing and word usage and word choice. But let me tell you something. I don't trust Nakaba as far as I can throw him. I don't know how big Nakaba is, but I don't think I can throw him very far. Though we do get to see that Hendrickson, seeing the perfect moneymaker that will save him so much time if he just has him around, he says this: would you be interested in working here at the Hendrickson Apocalypse? Give me a second. Apothecary. I'm going to start throwing that word around at random, see if people know it. But apothecary. With you around, more people could be saved from illness and injury. And, Hendrickson, I see what you're doing here, buddy. I bet those demon snakes from meliodas don't come just for free. I bet you just want him there so you can replicate all the things for a lower price and get your bread up. No, I know it's not that way, obviously. I think Hendrickson's clinic is actually literally free. So I know it's not actually that. But still, I just like to see it that way. Though we do get to see that with that being the case, it makes me wonder about Big Papa Hendy. Like, Brody, can't you be doing other things? No, I'm kidding. Though Nasiens is the one who's like, well, thanks, Big Papa H, but let me level with you real quick. Like, as crazy and amazing as that offer is, like, really, my toes are curling at the sheer thought of it. I I kind of want to help Big Papa Percy. Like, help him a lot. Like, help him in weird way. No, I'm sorry. But, like, he says, I want to help Percival. And, well, that would mean continuing to travel with him. Like, I can't help him from here. Unless you teach me teleportation magic that Thetis knows, but no one else does. Like, how hard is it? Like, I feel like teleportation should be a much more common spell. Like, if I could just learn, like, if someone told me, hey, it'll take you like 3 years, but you can learn how to teleport, and I'd be like, teleport anywhere? Like, maybe not anywhere, but like at least around the country. Like, what would y'all do if some guy came up to you, and like, say this is normal, right? Like, say you're not like just on a trip, and someone comes up to you and is like, dude, you want to learn how to teleport? Like, no. Like, you know for a fact this is real, and then someone offers you the ability. What's the time limit? What is the time commitment that would make you say no? I think anything over 5 years, it'd be like, this may be a bit too much trouble. But like, shoot, 4 years and 364 days of investment to teleport? Jeez, you don't want to take that. But with that being the case, we do get to see that Nasiens is committed to helping Percival, right? Like, he wants to stay there by Percival's side. Once again, showing that loyalty, that grit, that determination to stay by his bro. And we do get to see that Hendrickson understands. He's like, oh, that does make sense. He still has his duty as one of the four knights of the apocalypse. But you're not a holy knight. And like, Hendrickson. I hate to say it, buddy, but you, out of all people, do not have the right to be talking smack like this. The fact that you're not in jail, I know, it's not Hendrickson's fault. He was literally possessed by a demon, blah, blah, blah. But still, Hendrickson, support this man. I know you want his free services, but still, let him help. Like, really, Hendrickson, you should know. You don't need to be a holy knight to be strong. Were any of the commandments holy knights? Were any of the archangels? Was Elizabeth? Like, you can be a human and have gains. Not really. I lied. But still, you don't have to be a holy knight. I wonder where this focus on holy knights is coming from, especially with so recently Nakaba introducing the fact that they're still fodder. Like, it's not like being a holy knight has suddenly made you a top tier, insane in the membrane level threat. Like, that's not what happened. You could be a holy knight and still be booty water. So, I don't know. Watch your tone, Hendrickson. And we do get to see that Hendrickson's like, he's trying to rationalize it to Nasiens, who begins to sweat. He's like, soon they'll have to make their way towards a dangerous and unknown country. If you want to go with them, but you're not a holy knight, you'll only hold him back, understand? And like, dude, I get where he's very likely coming from with this. Like, he probably doesn't mean this in a mean way, like the way I'm interpreting it. Like, he's probably not saying like, dude, you're fodder, you're not even holy knight tier, blah, L, plus ratio, plus you're ugly, plus you're stupid, plus you should work for me for free, because, like, I don't think Henderson's actually doing it like this, but man, does it come across that way. Like, dude, he beat a holy knight. Like, literally punched him in the mouth, like, straight up. Hendrickson, I want you to box Nasiens right now. Like, how much shape are you in, buddy? Because you didn't do much against Malacallan. You were pretty useless. And you were a great tier holy knight. So, Nasiens, pop the Ceranos horn, debuff that man with some wither, hit him up with some Meliodas toxins to the face, and then body bag him, and then proceed to go help Percy anyway, because you're just that Chadley. But regardless of that, Nasiens does consider. Notably, he blushes, though. So, he don't care if he gonna hold Percival back or not. He gonna hold something Percival's, if you know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Just because Nasiens wants Percival's great sword doesn't mean I'm sorry. I need to stop. I'm turning into Nakaba. However, we do get to see one more cut. A cutaway father again. And we get to see the boy, the man, Donnie Land. And he's like, hey, see you around, Grandpa, Grandma. Be sure to tell when Uncle's back. Oh, no. Be sure to tell Uncle when he gets back. I wonder what he wants him to tell him. Just that he stopped by? I don't know. Interesting. And we do get to see... I don't know why. We get so little of these characters, Hauser's parents. And I still want to know where their daughter was. Like, this is a thing. This is directly his biological grandparents and grandmother. Like, this is him. So this is his family. When did you all have a kid? That wasn't Hauser. Why were they not mentioned? Like, especially considering what we go on to learn later on in this chapter. Like, why couldn't Donnie just be Hauser's kid? Like, the idea that Donnie actually just has a mom that happened to be Hauser's sister just makes me ever more confused. Like, I don't think it adds anything to the narrative. I think it just makes it a little bit more convoluted and confusing, and it makes Donnie feel ironically less set up and less tied into the previous narrative, because you literally can't go back and find anything for Donnie. To be fair, you can't find much of anything for any of the previous characters. But still, like, if you're going to tie him to Hauser anyway, just make him his kid. Though we do get to see the family again. And once again, I like these characters. I don't know why. It is literally just Hauser. Like, it is Hauser with a beard and a mustache and then just generic old woman. But still, I don't know. I love these characters. And we do get to see that Donnie, he's strolling. And once again, I hope this isn't their new drip. I really do. In fact, I don't think it is. Hold on. I made that complaint earlier, but let me double check the previous chapter. And I think they were wearing this at the end of the previous chapter. They weren't actually, this wasn't their new drippy dippy. It was in fact something else. Yeah, this is just their night clothes that they're wearing again. So they'll be getting new drip maybe after next chapter. Unfortunately, I thought they were going to get new drip this chapter. Though with that being the case, we do get to see Donnie's strolling along in this sleeping clothes, and we do get to see, as he's whistling, doing a good time, having a good vibe, he gets called. Hey, you, what were you doing in that house? And Donnie's like, what? And Jade and Kion are here. And like, once again, I feel like I bully Jade every time I see him just because he's nothing. He's not a character. Gosh darn it, not gonna be right. Such a good character. Give Jade something. Please. Please. You even gave Isolde something. Give Jade something. Because I don't know why bro's here. But with that being the case, the more interesting character, Kion, is like, you're still here? Outsider? I just realized the translator used the wrong version of here. But with that being the case, like, Kion, Brody, what does it matter to you, dog? Like, legitimately, what does it matter to you? Go away. Do something else. Go bully somebody else, you freak. You weirdo. You demon. Why are you not in jail? Wait a second. Hold on. Pause the tape, rewind, and delete. Weren't you just on trial? Weren't you just about to go to jail? Shouldn't you be executed right now? Yo, daddy. It's your dad. I want to smack the taste out your father's mouth. Because you should be in prison for treason. Treason, I tell you. Treason. Because bro was literally on trial for treason previously. Like, I don't know what. Like, in my initial reading, and to be fair, my mic broke, and there's a whole ton of external situations why I'm not doing live reactions right now. So, sorry. I'm sorry. They'll be back in like a week? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. They'll be back in 2 weeks. So, I'm sorry. But with that being the case, upon my initial read-through, I didn't even realize this, but Kion should be in jail. And I'm talking about jail. Medieval jail. And that means beheaded. But no, with that being the case, Kion, how are you wandering the streets? How are you, an actual, literal criminal who committed actual treason? Like, not the fake stuff. Like the actual treason. Like, legitimately, if Gawain was in there, she would have body bagged you. Like, don't get me wrong. You would have gotten clapped. Cheeks and everything. But still, in this case, jail is where you should be, fella. So watch your tongue. But we see that with him questioning Donnie, the outsider, Donnie's like, why are you bothering me this early in the morning, you dumb bubblegum built like... But we do get to see that apparently Kion and Jade are on patrol. Still don't know why Kion isn't in jail, but hey, it's neither here nor there. And we do get to see that apparently they know that this is the house of the great Holy Knight's parents. Like, they know that's Hauser's parents' house. And, like, Kion, if he's the king of one thing, it's leaping to conclusions. Like, sure, like, he doesn't leap to conclusions, he doesn't jump to conclusions, he flies to them. Because, like, how What is the correlation? You see some dude just randomly walk out of the house of these two individuals. You literally see them, like, unless I'm mistaken, you literally see them waving goodbye to him. And your first instinct, which Jade seems to back him up on, which is crazy, because Jade, that's why I want to smack Jade. But I feel bad, because like I'm so mean to Jade, but he hasn't done anything. And I think that's why I'm so mean to Jade, because he hasn't done anything. But with that being the case, how do you do that? How do you leap to the conclusion that, oh, do you mean to rob that old couple's home? No. Bro, what? Like, where is the correlation? I feel like we skipped like 15 steps before we got to house rob. Like, we jumped a little bit to reach burglary. Like, this just doesn't seem to be the case. However, we do get to see that Donnie's like, yo, if y'all don't leave me alone for visiting my grandparents' house, I swear. And both Kion and Jade have this realization of like, wait a minute, grandkid? Hold on a second. Grand Holy Knight. He has no women. Grandchild. Hold on a second, you're the nephew! Oh my word! Then you're the one from the rumors. The Grand Holy Knight houses nephew Donnyland. And Donnie's like, yeah. But, give me a second here. And level with me real quick. I need you to explain this very slowly to, you know about me. How come and why? And we see that, unfortunately, things ain't the best for Sir Donnyland. Like, apparently, it is widespread news. Kion goes to say, of course we do. It's a famous episode where you couldn't stand the training and ran away only after 1 month and then came back. And now he's running off after just 3 days. 3 days? I'm confused. So he fit, and no, Kion is spitting everywhere too. Man, bro is disgusting and crazy. I'm like, considering what's revealed here, I'm confident Vivian has something to do with Kion. There's no reason bro could be this crazy. But with that being the case, we do get to see then he came back and now he's running off after just 3 days. I don't know. Because, like, once again, the cast and crew arrived in Leonis yesterday. So it can't have been 3 days already, right? Like, they're still wearing old drip. Like, a lot has happened in 1 day. I don't know where they're getting the 3 days thing from. Maybe that's just a separate incident that I don't remember. But man, like, I believe Donnie didn't even live in town, right? Like, he lived out of town. Someone told me in a comment, like, the reason Donnie is still all new to Leonis and stuff like that is because he lived out of town with his mom. And thusly, he didn't get here. So for a rumor to spread, I mean, I guess, no, because he would know Leonis at that point. So, I don't know. Maybe I just need to look into that. However, we do get to see that even Kion is laughing at Donnie. And, like, Donnie, I'm not one for violence, alright? So, I didn't tell you to do this. But, buddy, you have your magic. Make them suffer. No, I'm kidding. We do get to see as Donnie blushes. Kion starts ragging on, bro. Like, legitimately, that's a different level of hater. Like, notably, I've encountered some haterade in my life, right? Like, not directed towards me. No one's had the gall. But regardless, like, I've seen haterade. I've even participated a little bit in haterade myself. But to be fair, it was in consensual roast sessions where we went all out, specifically trying to destroy each other. But with that being the case, like, bro, especially the way Nakaba draws it here makes it all the worse. Like, he's like, yeah, yes, your magical power lets you lift stuff off the ground, right? Oh, excuse me, can you do a trick? If you don't mind, I want to see you do a trick right here. Come on, can you do it with the staff? Come on, let me see. Come on. And, I don't know, like, as much as I want him in jail and would be headed for that treason, like, bro, Kion, no, I can't say he's a better character than Tristan. Tristan has had too much character stuff at this point, so I can't give Kion the pass anymore. But, like, Kion is a really good character. He's a character. Who is a character I could compare him to? That's commonly known. I can't think of one. I literally can't think of... I haven't... See, I had a character in my head, and then he instantly left. I'm going to remember after I stop recording and start editing. But, like, with that being the case, Kion reminds me of just... He reminds me of Zamasu. That's what he reminds me. Like, give Zamasu a human body, a staff, and some edginess. And there we go. You have Kion. I don't know. I love it. I love how Naga was writing this character. And we do get to see that Donnie's like, you know, you're right. It's just how you said. So now I've always suited myself with getting teased by guys like you. There. Satisfied? You happy? Did you get your rocks off? Putty? Pal? And Kion is like, what? You're gonna take that pipsqueak Percival or whatever and vanish from the kingdom while you're still alive? The thought, the idea, the idiom of anecdota of a thought that Sir Muscle Mommy, dark and light, Thicky Boy himself, Lord Tristan, would be in the same rank as some country hick, and his dead white sidekick makes me want to whip it out, slap it on Isolde's forehead, and then he can see it. Like, bro, Kion is a whole villain, dog. Like I don't know how bro... I know how... Now, with the context of this chapter, I know exactly how bro became a Holy Knight, but still... We do get to see that Donnie, he's done playing games. He lifts Kion up, reels him in, looks him dead in the eye, because he still has his one eye covered, and then proceeds to talk to him. Like, he doesn't actually throw him. Like, Donnie is a more mature man than I. Like, don't give me telekinesis in a world that's full of common magic, because I will be throwing houses, people, maybe both. But with that being the case, Kion's like, no, Jade is first like, what? Oh no, doesn't he just make stuff float? Bro, all you do is put darkness on people's heads. Like, really? Like, and it doesn't even hurt. The lowest level of demon can do more than you, Jade. Go get a life. But regardless, we do get to see that Kion is still up and mighty. He's like, you're picking a fight with me, a holy knight, when you're not even an apprentice. Slick my toes, you lowly beast, and I will complete the Zero Mortals plan. I don't actually know what Zamasu sounds like in English dub. If he doesn't sound like that, I'm gonna cry. But that, like, Kion, you're completely at bro's mercy right now. Like, I dare you to chant a spell. Like, what do you really want him to do? If bro can do this, imagine him ragdolling you through buildings. Like, I legit don't get. And once again, everyone in the Percy platoon has actually proven themselves to some degree. Donnie literally soloed Doran, like a thicky boy holy knight. I don't know how y'all are sleeping on this man so deeply. How is everyone sleeping on this? Like, every single thing has ended with, oh, I'm not a holy knight. Oh, I'm not a holy knight. Oh, I'm not a holy knight. Which just makes me think that everyone's going to become, like, there's two ways that the next chapter could go. Either A, everyone's going to become a holy knight immediately, because meliodas is like, yo, Lance told me all that you guys did, and literally you're more valid than, like, half the people who are holy knights in this kingdom. So, you're good. Or they're all going to stay and train to become holy knights, which I don't think works. I think that'd be kind of dumb. It'd be a way to get rid of them, which I think maybe the goal of next chapter just based off the title of it. But please, Dagobah, don't do that. Though we do get to see that Donnie's like, yo, let me level with you real quick. You listen to me real well. You angsty, edgy, dumb bubblegum, built like a knockoff Gilthunder looking boy. All my life, you can make fun of me. You can make fun of my mama. You can make fun of my grandparents. You can make fun of Anne and Nasiens. You can even make fun of the darn horse. But what you ain't gonna do is talk smack on my boy's name. And that's why I'll always be more than dead weight. And we see Donnie does drop the boy. And suddenly, a person says, that's enough, both of you. I wish I could do the 7 Deadly Smuck's voice of Gilthunder. I can't, man. That's enough, both of you. Cardinal Gilthunder, Nani Daiskeskina. Cardinal, very interesting. He's not a great holy knight. He is a cardinal. Isn't that like a religious position? I don't know why. Cardinal rings more religious to my ears than anything else. But I'm not sure if I'm actually remembering that. Though we do get to see that Cardinal Gilthunder has arrived, and he has the same emo look as Nasiens for some reason. I don't get, like, how is that viable? Like, why do you guys not like depth perception? Not death perception, but depth perception. Like, legitimately, why would you ever cover your eyes, especially if you're both warriors? But we do get to see that Gilthunder, he is kind of drippy. He's like, hey, Donnie, it's been a while. You're looking better than the last time I saw you. And Donnie's like, oh, so. And admittedly, it makes sense why he doesn't call him. Like, if Donnie was actually Hauser's son, I would be like, why don't you just call him Uncle Gil? Because, Unc. But it does make sense, they're not directly related. And we see that Gilthunder's like, yo, regardless of the fact that you did just body bag my boy, yeah, His Royal Majesty has summoned you. Get going. And I was like, was it because I just body bagged this ugly, dumb bubblegum built like you looking clone? I don't really know. But you better get it moving before I body bag you for it. Either way, hurry along. Get gone. Your friends will be there with you. And we see Donnie runs off. And Gilthunder, he walks up to Kion. He's like, hey, Kion. I can't do it. Kion. I need to listen to more of the Seven Deadly Sins schmucks. The Seven Deadly Schmucks. Gilthunder. I love that voice, but I can't replicate it. Hey, what are you doing with Donnie? We were just making small talk, Father. And Gilthunder glares. It's the truth, Father. And like, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, how does he have dark hair? Who is his mom? Hold on, let me Google something real quick. Yeah, where did Brody get dark hair from? Like, I'm not judging him. Like, you can have dark hair, but like, Gil, you are not the father. Like, if Margaret is Kion's mom, which she assumedly would be, and it does make sense why Kion is royal, why he's able to hold the Holy Knight position and why he's getting such lax treatment, because he's the literal son of the cardinal. But where'd the dark hair come from? Bartra didn't have dark hair. I don't think we ever got to see the mother of Margaret and Veronica. Veronica didn't have dark hair either, though. Like, I don't think Zartros didn't have dark hair. Hold on, let me double check. Let me throw Veronica into the Googler real quick. Let me see if I'm tripping. Somewhat darker hair, but not dark enough that unless dark hair is a really, really recessive trait that Kion happened to pop out, Gilthunder, you are not the father there, bro. Like, maybe you need to investigate your wife a little bit. Cause, like, I don't see it. Legitimately, I don't see it. Though, it's cool to see Gilthunder did have a kid. Him and Margaret, they knock boots. He took Margaret's chastity. Though we do get to see that the whole squad, in the end, walks along. And everyone's wondering, why did we get summoned? And everyone's a little confused and excited to meet Sir Meliodas, while Percival, who makes his first appearance in the chapter outside the cover page, is still sleepy. Bro's literally vibing. And we do get to see that the next chapter is called A Decision to Part. So I do believe this is the last we're going to see of the Percy platoon. Unless Nakama decides to break my ankles again. And I don't want them going, but this is our final chapter with them. At least for now. They had a good run. However, that's what I think. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notification bell to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below, waiting for as low as $1 a month. Get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.